teams since the 1980-81 Rockets have reached the NBA Finals after starting like that.
All right, Sheila, we've been talking about the defensive issues for the Cavs for quite some time, and Dave McMenamin has been all over that story since the start of the season. He joins us now from the team's practice facility. All right, Dave, let's get an update here. What's the scene that stuck with you from that post-game locker room Sunday following that loss?
Michael, it would have been comical if it wasn't for the circumstances the Cavs are going through right now, losers of 5 of their last 6 games. But LeBron came out of the shower into the locker room, towel around his waist, slide sandals on his feet, and went right to Ty Lue's coach's office for a meeting. Closed the door behind him, and again, he's a 6'8" man, pretty imposing presence, just in a towel, obviously showing some urgency that he wasn't going to wait to get dressed before he could rehash what just went down with his coach.
Well, I thought some of the comments were very revealing as well following the game, Dave, and specifically Dwyane Wade and Channing Frye talking about the starters specifically being targeted in terms of those guys need to play better. Who are they talking about here?
Yeah, they used the vague term, the starters. And if you look at the stats, the starters as a group have been terrible. Negative 5.9 points per game in terms of plus minus versus their opposition when it comes to the starters. But the two guys really being targeted are J.R. Smith, who's averaging a career-low 5.3 points on 27.9% shooting. He is a shooting guard, I remind you. A shooting guard shooting 27.9% is a major problem. And also Kevin Love. And while Kevin Love's career numbers are right around his averages this season, he's at about 16 points and 10 rebounds this year. He clearly didn't have it yesterday. He left the game early with an illness. He ended up with about 4 points and 5 rebounds. Love's been okay this year, but if he's going to be one of the highest paid players on this roster, one of the true go-to stars on this team, they need a more consistent effort. They need bigger nights out of him, especially early, because the Cavs have been falling behind in the first quarter. And that used to be Kevin Love time. The last couple of years, Kevin Love got the ball early. You'd see him routinely have 5, 10, 15 points in the first quarter. That hasn't been the case this year, and they need both JR, Kevin Love, and all the starters to come with more energy from the very opening tip-off.
Maybe that's some of the result of playing more 5 than Kevin Love has played mostly in his career as a power forward in this league. Let me ask you this, though, because even Cleveland fans will be like, we'll be all right, we'll be all right. We've been to the finals 3 straight years. So they've got some tough games coming up here. Got Bucks and Giannis. They got the Rockets and James Harden. If there is some type of silver lining in those matchups coming up, Dave, what are they?
Oh, I mean, there's a sense within the coaching staff that the only time the guys in that locker room get up for a game is against a known opponent with a known star. And you saw it against the Boston Celtics and Kyrie Irving. You saw it against, of course, the Bucks with Giannis earlier in the year. And Friday night against Washington Wizards against John Wall, Bradley Beal, when everybody show up to play, including LeBron James. That's the hope, I guess, that these next couple games will grab their attention. But what happens if, say, they get things together against the Bucks and the Rockets, and then they play, a nameless Dallas Mavericks team also on that road trip, or go to New York and play the Knicks, also a struggling team this year? The Cavs need to get themselves right, I think, is the real answer here before they worry about the opponent.
Yeah, you're right. Getting those big wins are great, but if you lose to teams you're not supposed to lose to, it kind of all goes for naught, and that's sort of how the Cavs are spinning their wheels right now. Dave McMenamin, as always, great insight into the Cavs. Thanks, Dave.
From and